curious wanderers, welcome to my newest video. Today is a little different. I just thought it'd be fun to make an easy mermaid makeup look. So here we go. Now I'm obviously not a beauty guru here, so just humor me as I try out a different kind of video for fun. Here I'm just showing my my gruesome Halloween nails. So what I wanted to be this year was a mermaid, but an old-timey mermaid, the ones that would lure seamen to the sea and drowns them and eat them, or whatever the different legends say. So this is supposed to be a sinister mermaid look. Supposed to be more kind of attractive, but also sinister. So I use some all of the products that I use are just some inexpensive or relatively inexpensive, like drugstore products. I don't think it really matters what brands you use. I know some of you are curious, so I try to show them in the video which things I used. But basically I just primed my face because I wanted it to actually last throughout the Halloween party. And here I'm using a big old pencil to give my eyes a starting point. I do believe I shortly go in and dramatize this further, making them look even more sunken in or hollow. And yeah, I also use a blue eyeliner, but you can't see it very well since I'm not since I don't have a studio set up to record all of this. This is kind of the best that I could figure out just for this one-time type of video. But yeah, so I used a darker blue to go around the lighter blue that I had started with to make my eyes look more sunken in, like perhaps I've been out of water now and it's not as convincing as it was while I was underwater, or something like that. But yeah, so then from there, like, it's not the most complicated thing. You just kind of play around with what you have. So if you're working towards making the crease and the outer part dark, then you can go ahead and shimmer up or lighten up the actual lids to kind of help make them more 3D. Here I'm putting a little bit of white just in the tear duct. That way it kind of helps accentuate the look there. And yeah, from there it's more of a play around with it, see what you want to do. And all of this is basically, I'm doing it first just so I have like a base to go with, and then I'm going to do the fishnet technique that I've seen here and there, but I wanted to try it for fun and tell you guys how it worked out for me, or show you guys, I guess I should say. But yeah, so basically what I did is I cut two holes in the fishnet so I could actually see what I was doing. And this is a part of the video where I look like some sort of murderer for quite a while I work on adding the colors. I recommend going ahead with perhaps a better brush, seeing as this isn't something that I put a lot of money into. I don't feel like I had a good brush to do this with. I had like a big floofy one, but it was almost too floofy. I had smaller flat brushes, but those don't kind of poof as much. So if you have like a more rounded brush that's not quite as big and floofy as this one, I would think that would probably work better to give you better results. There I was just spraying my brush with some setting spray, but if you're using this the same little makeup thing that I'm using, for some reason it kind of clumped up instead of adding more pigment, so that didn't really go as well as I wanted it to. Usually if you wet the brush a bit or use some setting spray a bit, it can increase the pigment, but not this one. This one didn't like it very much. So, oh, there I'm sneaking a peek. So there, basically what you want to do is you don't want to take it off and put it back on constantly like the fishnet, because you'll lose the texture that you've created as soon as you like kind of move it or shift it around. So what you want to do is kind of have faith and go a little ham on it, because I find unless you have like a very pigmented palette, then you probably don't need to be as intense as I was, but you're going to notice that I put a lot of layers to try to make it more visible. But yeah, so I would say over on your cheekbones is a good place to put a good amount of it. It gives this like cool, almost contour or highlight look, but you know, it's not actually a highlight, but just to give it kind of that look. I added a bit of blue to my eyebrows, just a bit of powder, no pencil or anything, because I didn't want it to be too intense, but I did want it to kind of blend in with the look a little better. And yeah, I go a little darker in the crease, like below your brow bone, and lighter over top your brow bone, down towards your roots. And I also added some below more towards the chin, going up towards the mouth, because I felt that would do a cool look, and I do like how it came out. So here you can see me moving towards that. I experimented a few different brushes, but since I only have some kind of cheap, like not quite appropriate brushes, none of them seem to be very ideal for this, but you do what you can with what you got, and that's the whole point of this, is kind of to do an easy, cheap makeup look that's still fun, and that doesn't take like hours and hours to accomplish, but that would still give you an effect that you want. So there is kind of just showing how it doesn't show very much through the net. So I keep adding layers. I think there a little chunk fell. And I think soon we should get the big reveal. But yeah, I also came down because I knew I wanted to add, like later on in the look, some kind of some swirls to give myself a built-in kind of crown-like or accessory-like look, like kind of bejeweled in a sense. So I brought the color down on my forehead, down to like almost like a point. Here I'm just adding some white to the absolute top of my cheekbones here, kind of to give it a highlight. I put a bit on my nose and on my chin, just to give it that a bit of 3D effect. And yeah, for that, after a while you just kind of can't build it anymore, so you take it off. Once you take it off, I don't recommend putting it back on, because it'll just muddy it up. I think the look is really fun. You can experiment with different sizes of fishnet, and you can blend out some parts to help it blend in more. Here is just a little trick for costume looks like this that can be fun, is to kind of create a little shadow under your chin. I like to do that because it makes it a little more dramatic, the look, but it's obviously optional. And a green or a blue lipstick really helps bring that look together. I apologize for my awkward my awkward lipstick footage, but this is the struggle. This is the hard part, putting on liquid lipstick without making a mistake. I don't know if I'm the only one who finds that very challenging. Perhaps I am just too much of a perfectionist, but oh well. But yeah, so from there, I used the eyeliner, the blue eyeliner, to draw on kind of the accents, kind of the swirlies to give it that cool look. It's very hard to do while looking at the looking through the camera. So off camera, like you won't be able to see. I do kind of fix and like adjust the lines to make them a little more what I wanted, because here I'm using a pretty silly workaround to the fact that I'm not quite equipped to film this sort of video, but I just thought it'd be fun to do just as a one-timer since Halloween is coming and all of that. But it makes it very hard to kind of do some detail work the way I was doing it. But yeah, so I used some eyelash glue to put on some little craft pearls. They're like little flat pearls meant for like decorating things. Well, they're decorating the thing that is my face. And I make these little swirls. I find you can kind of improv these and it should look pretty okay. You can add more swirlies or you can skip it altogether if you want to just stick with the previous look. You don't need to have the little swirls. You can just add little accessories as you want. Like if you have like maybe like a little seashell or something that you want to add on there or something like that. It's just having fun. Just try not to make yourself super uncomfortable. But yeah, see there, you can see I fixed the lines and put my glasses back on. But yeah, so hope you like the final look. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a happy Halloween.